Hello, Rory Graham here. You ever had something happen to you and you think it's the worst thing that could have ever happened, and then later on it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened? Well, that's happened to our next guest, and I think you'll find it really, really entertaining. Our guest is Heather Brinkman. She is from the Brinkman Group of Five Rings Financial, and she's in the financial sector, obviously. And she has a very entertaining story and of how she turned adversity into a blessing. And I look forward to sharing that with you right after this message.
This episode is sponsored by the book, Did I Tell You I Love You Today? By Rory Graham, an exciting story that poses the question, if you could go back 40 years in your life with today's knowledge, what would you change and who could you save? Order yours today on Amazon, Audible, and other fine booksellers, or get an autographed copy at www.rorygraham.com.
Welcome to this episode of Success Tracks. And Success Tracks is where we chase that elusive thing called success through talking with entrepreneurs who have achieved it, and hopefully through listening to their stories and what they did and what made all the difference for them, you can possibly do the same in your business. Today I am pleased to bring you Heather Brinkman, who is from Brinkman, the Brinkman Group, Brinkman Financial Group, and in Virginia Beach. And she is a member of Five Rings Financial, and she is obviously in the financial industry, but very successful. And I have known her for a very long time as not only a associate that I've done business with, but also as a good friend. And so I welcome you, Heather. Thank you for joining us today.
Right.
And,
so great to be here.
Yeah, and so I think a good place to start would be just tell us about, a little bit about yourself,
Sure.
Your base, because I know that you didn't come from weren't born to a multimillionaire family and no royalty, I don't think. So
maybe it's a secret.
Okay. Yeah, and so you had to earn what you got, and you did a very good job of it. So let us in on the story about your life.
Okay. Well, first of all, I grew up in San Diego, California, and I'm living in Virginia Beach now. So never thought I would leave San Diego. I went to school there, was raised there, San Diego State University. Never wanted to leave there. And never wanted to marry a military man, never wanted to be in the financial services company. And how many of you know that you should never say never, because once you do that, it's all going to change. So married my husband in the Navy, left Virginia actually really quite quickly, and went to Washington, D.C. area first. And so left San Diego. We moved a few different places between that point and now. But finally, he retired from the military after 25 years. And when he retired, I had I had my own business for, many years. I've been actually self-employed for about 35 years. And I was in the mortgage industry at the time, making a lot of money. I had my own mortgage closing business up in Northern Virginia. When we moved back after he retired at the Pentagon, moved back to Virginia Beach, had that mortgage company then. We decided we needed to learn something about money, so we started going to some financial seminars. Unfortunately, we went to the wrong financial seminars. They put our money away for us, and 2008 hit, and we lost it all. We lost over 56% overnight. That was our life savings. They had even talked us into taking equity out of our home because we had a lot of equity in it. And our house went negative $100,000. So we were in pretty dire straits. It was an awful time in our life. I ended up having to do 4 different jobs just to try to make ends meet. My husband went out of the country to go back doing things that we thought he had retired from doing. And So that was that. But then a couple of years later, in 2011, I got invited from my best friend, who I did some work with, and she invited me to this thing called Money 101. It was another financial seminar for a company I'd never heard of because they weren't on the East Coast at the time, and that was Five Rings Financial. And I said, Mary, I don't want to go. We've been there, done that. Don't want to do that. Don't want to go. And she says, Heather, I promise this is different than anything you've ever seen. And Scott's out of the country. You know that. You've got nothing going on tonight. And there's a free dinner. And I said, okay, I'll go for the free dinner. I went with my bad attitude. I was so upset with what had happened with my husband and myself. We were so embarrassed. Didn't tell family. We didn't tell anybody how much money we had lost. We didn't tell them all the situations we were in. And we were just really embarrassed. But that night, I'm so thankful that my friend forced me to go. I still say she forced me with a free dinner. And we went to that night, and that night changed my life forever moving forward. I learned that we didn't have to lose our money, so I was very angry. I learned about what's called indexed accounts. It's something that Five Rings specializes in. It's your money's not in the market, but it's based on the market. So when the market goes up, your money goes up. Market drops, your money stays right where it was. Market goes up, you go right up with it. Market drops, your money is safe. So I loved that, but I was very angry. I thought, how come those other guys didn't teach us about that? I also learned that night about living benefits, life insurance. And I just lost my dad from a long-term illness. Thankful enough that I was able to go back and forth and spend months at a time with him during that time because I didn't really have much of a business going on at that point. But I was able to be there with him, but I knew the cost of getting sick. And when I saw Money 101, my brother was at that point very sick. And I knew he couldn't work. He didn't have any money. It was a very bad time. And I heard about those living benefits, and I thought to myself, I need that. My husband needs that. We need to be protected. We have no children. We need to be protected because who's going to take care of us? So I thought, I'm going to be a client. And from being a client, I started telling everybody about this Money 101. And I started inviting people. It started happening on a regular business. I helped set up Five Rings Financial here on the East Coast with my friend Mary. And I just started inviting people. Mary says, get licensed, which I told you I never wanted to be in this business ever, ever, ever. But this business got in me over time. I was able to help so many of my friends who I invited to my Money 101, and I was getting paid a little bit as well. And I thought, gosh, maybe I should do this a little bit more full time or at least part time, learn more about this business that I didn't want to be in. And that's how I started, Rory. It was really very organic. It was something that I never anticipated ever in my life to be in this business. But when things happen, you sometimes have to take advantage of that situation to help others not be where you were. So that's kind of how I got in this business.
Okay, so you got into business, and so it took off like a rocket, right?
Well, it doesn't start quite off of rocket. Anybody in the financial industry knows that it doesn't really start off quite that forceful, but it actually did really quite well for me. For me, not being in this, I was just going to be an advocate, just an inviter, and that's it. Got licensed, like I said, so they could pay me. But I started, I was so excited. I invited a lot of people, and those people were doing business with Five Rings Financial. And so I was getting those paychecks. So over time, and pretty quickly, within, I think it was 9 months, I ended up becoming a part-time agent and then a full-time agent pretty quickly after that. This business, if you know anybody in the financial industry or you know much about the financial industry, you'll find out that, 80% of the people that get into this business are gone within the first year. And then the second year, it drops down to about 10%. And so not a lot of people stay in this business. This is a tough business, but it's a business that you have to have it in your heart for this business. And I truly was, because my why was I didn't want to see anybody ever go through what we went through. I mean, it was awful. In fact, I still get teary when I tell that story because it was so awful. So that's why I'm here. That's why I want to help others, because I don't think the markets are going to stay right now like they are. We've seen a lot of this and this over the last couple of years. Right now, the markets are good, but they're not going to stay good. So I love what I do, and I'm so honored to be with such a great company. Number one. Number two, I've done extremely well. I raised to the top level in the company of executive vice president in a matter of about, I think it was 3 or 4 years. I've earned tons of trips. I travel at least three big trips a year with them, that they pay everything for that. And I'm able to, most importantly, I'm able to help so many people. And then those people bring me their friends, those people bring me their kids as they're growing up. And that has been really like the most remarkable thing. And again, I'm still self-employed, and that's what I love most. But
Well,
that's not always easy.
right. Well, I also know that you're paid. You're not paid fees. I mean, you don't charge your clients fees, right?
No.
Yeah. So
So we're a non-fee based company. So when I match up, and I'm a broker, just so you know, that's how we do our business. We're not tied to one company, which is like the really big, great thing for most of my clients. Like, I'm going to go shop for my client for whatever their needs are, because everybody is different. Some people have old 401ks or TSPs or IRAs. They don't, know anything about it, and they are losing money, or their fees on it are so high. So I can go shop it and find out where, like, if they want a guaranteed income stream. I have several different companies that I can offer with that. But I'm looking for, in that client's time frame, who's going to pay them the best money. Doesn't matter about what I make on it, because I'm not taking money out of my client's account. I'm not skimming off the top every year like a lot of companies do, which is really nice. Those companies that we put our client with, they are the ones who pay us directly, so out of their marketing dollars, because insurance business or any kind of financial business, it's changed a lot over the years. So those companies actually pay us out of their marketing dollars. So that's how we get paid. And I love what I do. I can sleep well at night because I know my clients don't lose any money.
well, okay. So you may not have been a rocket ship, but it was pretty good track record there.
Yeah.
What do you think were some of the key things that made a difference? I mean, as you said, a lot of people in the financial business, but actually also a lot of businesses, don't make it a year. I mean, very few make it 5. So, what do you attribute your success to, you think?
Well, I think it was my, if you look at my why, what was my why? My why was not having anybody ever go through what we went through. So my why was big. My why was making sure that everybody's money was safe. Safe from, losing it overnight. I mean, that's such a big deal. So that was one of the things. I really knew what I wanted people to know. You have to believe in whatever you're doing, whatever that business you're in. You have to believe in it so wholeheartedly, and that was one of the things that I did. I also worked on myself. I told you we were at a pretty low point when we lost all of our money. Never thought we'd get out of that hole, and so I had to work on myself. I didn't have very good self-esteem at the time, and so I had to really work on that. So we're always, my company, we're really big on helping yourselves, right? Making sure that you're reading 10 pages of a good book every day, some sort of motivation, whether it be Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or Darren Hardy, whatever it might be listening to or reading from 10 pages of a good book every day. Very important. I think that keeping yourself motivated is so important. I'm one of those people, I'm very competitive with myself. And so I'm always having some sort of trying to come up with what my goals are. So having a goal is really important, keeping that goal in front of you, whether you need to stick it up on your mirror so you're seeing it every day when you're getting ready, or putting it on the refrigerator, whatever it is, keeping that goal in front of you. I think that is so important. I think that surrounding yourself with people who are really good people is really important. I had to stop hanging out with some of the people I used to hang out with. I will tell you, people will bring you down. And I think, for so many people, it's different from when, maybe your parents or your grandparents were growing up. They worked for like maybe one or two companies in their entire life. They had a great pension, and that's just how it went. Today, people work for multiple companies, right? They job hunt, they job jump constantly. Some of that's not because of what their choice, maybe because their company went out of business. We've seen a lot of that, or maybe they got laid off, whatever the situation is. But I know that, having something that you can do and feel good about is so important. And I just feel good about what I do, being able to help others, being able to help others protect what they work so hard for, having a plan for their future. So you have to work on yourself. You have to work and have that goal for you set in front of you. And I think surrounding yourself with the very right people, those people, and they say your average is for those people that you hang around with. So those 6 people that you hang around with, look at their averages of their income, look at who they are, what they do, and maybe those are not the right people for you to be hanging out. Maybe you need to go network for some friends. We always go network for business, but maybe you better go network for friends that fit that need. So that's what I would say. Networking for me has been a big deal. I moved to this area, I didn't know anybody. I started networking when I was with another business, and I'm still great friends with those people. 16, 17, 18 years ago, I'm still really good friends with a lot of them in those groups. Find yourself some networking events to go meet some friends, to meet some acquaintances. When I go to a networking event, I usually go with a goal of maybe meeting 3 people that I don't know, 3 people that I can strike up a conversation with, and maybe invite them for coffee, because you never know. I want to find out what other people do. I am always so interested in others, and that's another key. Be interested in others. That's the most important. Be interested in others. Very, very, very key, not only for your business, but for your life.
Well, I think that's great advice, actually, being interested in others and also belief in yourself and in your product.
Right.
It's very, 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 very great advice. So, well, it's been a pleasure having you, and I can see why you're successful with all of that. Those are great people that you were talking about. Read 10 pages. Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, a number of people. Right. So positive input is a really good thing, and so much negative in the world nowadays. So it's good to throw a little positive in there, but it helps you. Yeah. So, well, thank you for sharing your insights with us and what's helped you be successful. And I wish you continued success. And I would encourage anybody to check you out as far as what Five Rings Financial has to offer. And I know you have an office in Lynnhaven in the Hampton Roads area, but and there's Five Rings Financial companies all over the United States.
Right.
So
all 50 states.
Yep. So this podcast will be going everywhere. So if you're not in the Hampton Roads area, I'm sure there's a Five Rings Financial somewhere near you. But
there's also me, because I'm licensed in 30-some states, so I have clients all over the country.
Well, then forget what I just said. just call Heather. Her contact information will be there. You go. Her contact information will be attached with this video. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, and I wish you continued success. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for joining us on Success Tracks today. And if you have a success story to tell and would like to apply to be on there, just give us a call or email, and then you can check us out at successtracks.com. And I look forward to talking to you about your continued success.